It was the 70s, and Star Wars was a big financial success, and suddenly every studio in town wanted some kind of a sci-fi property. That's when things like Battlestar Galactica got greenlit. That's when things like Buck Rogers came back. But Buck didn't have a cute little robot sidekick originally. That's the post-Star Wars effect. That's the reason why there's a mechanical owl in Clash of the Titans. Everybody wanted to try to duplicate, replicate, dissect, and recreate whatever they thought was the successful components of Star Wars. I don't necessarily know that science fiction was what was successful about Star Wars, but that's what these people were trying. And for the people who didn't have the budget to do a lot of costumes, a lot of sets, some spaceships, some model work, some location shooting, they got creative. And that's when we see an episode of Happy Days in 1978 with an alien in it. An alien named Mork.
Wait a minute, who are you?
I am Mork from Mork. Gabaza.
I remember sitting on the sofa and seeing this episode. Happy Days was big. Happy Days was a big thing. And you can almost tie that back into George Lucas as well, because although the Happy Days property existed as a pilot on Love American Style in 1972, which I didn't see for many years, and when I did see it, it was on the TV in the back bedroom at this house. It didn't get greenlit until 74, which is the year after George Lucas's American Graffiti came out in 73, starring who? Ron Howard, set in 1962. So they're like, hey, what is it that we had that was like that? We had a thing kind of similar to that. Let's put that in on TV now, you know. So even Happy Days' success and Laverne and Shirley's success, because Cindy Williams was in American Graffiti, those things I feel like are pop culture ripples. We watch Happy Days every week. We had a Happy Days board game. You know, Happy Days was big. Here's this character meets Richie Cunningham, played by Ron Howard, and Richie goes upstairs and says, watch some TV, and this happens.
We'll return to the Andy Griffith Show after these messages.
I like that boy, Opie. Why does an Earth boy have a Martian name, though?
And I thought that was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life. Now, I'm 8 years old. I don't have the vocabulary to understand that's a meta reference. You know, he's talking about another show that actor was in. I liked that gag on Happy Days, and I really liked the gag when the Cylon walked past Face on the opening credits of A-Team. I didn't quite know what it was I liked about it, but I really liked that style of humor. How much did I love Robin Williams after that one gag? I watched everything he did. I watched Mork and Mindy regularly. Saw Popeye in theaters. Saw Good Morning Vietnam in theaters, which was a revelation that someone that brilliant and that funny could have that much heart and dramatic range. And I thought, oh man, I liked him before, but this guy has a fantastic career ahead of him. And he did. So yeah, lots and lots of moments where my life intersected his. I didn't think about it until he had passed away, but we both named sons Zach, and I think with the same spelling. I'm not sure, but and I probably remembered that from Robin Williams Live at the Met, because he mentions that son's name, and just it was buried in there somewhere. But I taped Live at the Met on VHS off of HBO or some cable channel and memorized it. I knew not only every word he said, but I would say them with the flubs in there. There's a joke about the Reverend Ernest Angley where he gets tongue-tied, and I would say it the tongue-tied way. I'm not going to say it now because there's a word in there and I have small kids that watch this channel. Yeah, so I would say it the way he says it. 1989, after the first play I was ever in, Little Shop of Horrors, we were at the cast party, and I was with a girl named Jennifer, and somebody put in the store-bought VHS of Robin Williams Live at the Met. And I'm sitting there saying every line. And people are like, shut up. We want to hear him say it, not you say it. I was being obnoxious. I was a teenager. And it got to a section that wasn't in the cable version. It was only in the store-bought version. And I'm like, what is this? And Jennifer knew that section from her brother's audio cassette of Live at the Met. So she starts saying it. And I'm like, shut, I want to hear him. Shut. And everybody just died laughing at the tables being turned on me like that. So yeah, it was a well-deserved moment. But even I had to admit it was hilarious, you know. So I would do a Robin Williams impression then based off of things from Live at the Met, but it was in the style of Robin Williams. It wasn't necessarily jokes he had done, and I would take little things. The laugh meter thing that he would do. I worked that into a production of Disney's Aladdin Jr. In 2011. I played the genie. Before that, though, we had done a Wicket show. The Wickets are an improv comedy troupe that I was a founding member of, and we were rehearsing one night. We didn't actually have an audience. And the thing about, you get together and you go over the rules of the games, and you just do some sample games to make sure everybody's familiar with, you know, the skeleton on which you will frame the actual, you know, meat and muscles on the night with a real audience there giving you the random suggestions. So rehearsals tend to get a little inbred in their humor, because it's our own suggestions that we're throwing out to one another, and we kind of know to play to their strengths. And this one game, I didn't think I was going to be in it, and I threw out either Robin Williams or Mork as a suggestion. And then when Jake reassigned the suggestions to us, he gave that one back to me. So I wound up playing it myself. And I remember Wes was standing there as Homer Simpson, and he had never seen me do this Robin Williams impression before, and he was just like, and forgot that he was supposed to say something in a line, and he went, dough, and went back to focusing on me. And he was, you know, talking about what a good impression it was that he didn't know I could do that. One of the people in attendance at that warm-up was Wes and Stefan's friend, A.B., who I had never met before. Years later, the Wickets are doing a Christmas show for the Shoals Home Builders Association, and there's 2 acts. We're going to follow this, you know, the Greats of Music act. I forget what the name of it was, but, you know, like Ike and Tina Turner are performing at the moment, and Ike's played by a woman too, which was funny. The MC is Roy Orbison, and then I'm standing backstage with their Stevie Wonder, and he's, you know, and he glances over and he goes, Robin Williams. Now that's surreal right there. When Stevie Wonder recognizes you and calls you by somebody else's name. But it was AB under the wig and the sunglasses. I just didn't know who I was standing there next to. And that's what he remembered me for, was Robin Williams. You know, so I had a manager at work that would make me do a Robin Williams impression on command. So when I did then wind up being invited to do Disney's Aladdin Jr., I was like, you know, this is funny because I've actually done Friend Like Me as my audition material for musicals many, many times, but I've never had a chance to actually sing the song in a show. I didn't know the show was going on. She'd cast it, had a college-age kid playing the genie, wasn't getting what she wanted from him. She kicks him out. She comes to me. My friend Adam's wife, Rachel, recommended me. Like, just the whole thing was happening there. I could tell this story much longer, but I'm trying to you know, condense here. I said, what do you want? If this guy didn't give you what you want, what do you want? She said, the character from the movie. I said, I can give you that in spades. And so I shaved my head into a top knot, and I have been painted blue a grand total of 8 times. My friend Adam was backstage one night. The guy that normally did the flying carpet was out, so Adam was going to help out. And he's sitting backstage, and I would let the makeup person do the kids' makeup first, including Iago the parrot, because my character didn't come in for like 30 minutes of the show or something like that. So the show's actually going on while I'm being painted blue. And I leave the dressing room, and I didn't know Adam was sitting there in a chair because my eyes hadn't adjusted to the dark. And he goes, you're even walking like Robin Williams. So I must have had something that I was channeling there. As a result of having played the genie, then I had a lot of people contact me in the week after Robin Williams died and say, are you okay? You know, you were the first person I thought of. Or how are you handling this? And I remember that moment. I remember being at work, and a guy named Eric, I went in the kitchen, and he goes, my wife just texted me this. And I'm like, oh, man. And another gal walks up, and she goes, stop lying. She could not accept it. She could not accept it. Her brain instantly said, this must be a lie. I do not want this to be true. And I, on the other hand, was internalizing it, and I'm like, oh man, I could totally see that. I totally get that. That the person that's trying to make everybody laugh so much has this pain inside, you know. So, the Wickets then did a tribute show within the first couple of weeks of him passing away. And for the promo picture for that, I had a shirt that was like the sleeves were a different color from the torso, and I thought that kind of looked like the shirt he wore in a lot of scenes on Mork and Mindy. I didn't have the horizontal striped one, but I knew that Wes had a pair of those rainbow suspenders, so I borrowed those, and they didn't have the pins, the pointing finger and the sun and the moon, kind of looked like the Procter and Gamble logo. But I found those in an eBay auction. I just stole the photo and cut and pasted them digitally onto the photo. And then I put on khaki pants, and I was in that I must hold myself back because my brain is going so much faster pose that he would do all the time on Mork and Mindy. So that was our promo for that show and everything.